Yeah, kind of prepared off the cuff. We've just finished Ghost of Tsushima, which is a game I've heard a lot about, and we came into with very kind of high expectations and hopes. I think this game got announced in 2017, I think. So we've finally gotten around to playing it, and yeah, pretty good game. I enjoyed it. I think it was good. It plays out very much like a sharper and more polished version of like Assassin's Creed, or maybe like kind of Horizon Zero Dawn-esque with an open world. You got a lovely branching character creation set. You've got all your perks and weapons to upgrade, all your moves, fully customizable samurai, so you can play the old school Ronin-esque samurai, or you can play like a ninja, like what we've got. Our guy looks like he's fucking straight from the Ninja Turtles or something. But yeah, the game looks amazing. It runs pretty good on the PS4. This game is coming at the end of the PS4's life cycle, obviously, one of the last kind of console exclusives. I don't know if it'll remain an exclusive, but I really hope one day it comes to PC, because I think that it would look really, really good on really high-end gaming PCs, and honestly, this game deserves to be showcased at like full capacity. I would recommend this game to anyone. I don't know if I would tell people to buy it when it's full price, because there is a ton of content and stuff for you to do in the game, but in terms of like intense kind of enjoyment, I don't know if this game kind of ticks all the boxes. It is a very chill game that you're going to enjoy if you're looking for something to do and something to relax in. You can play it on harder difficulties, which I would recommend. I don't know about lethal mode, but we played on hard difficulty, and I feel like that's the perfect way that the game should be played, because that way the combat is kind of deadly and scary at times. But it also feels satisfying and rewarding when you pull it off, and it does force you to get better, and as you do improve with Jin and learn the controls and get all these other techniques, you do feel like you are getting better. It also makes all of your upgrades for your weapons and your armor and all these charms that you pick up, it actually makes them feel necessary. If you play on easy mode, I don't know, I can't comment on easy mode because I haven't played it on normal mode, but I would recommend hard difficulty because I feel like it brings out the best in the game. It does make you feel, you feel like you grow at one point, because you start off as like pleb Jin with his broken armor and no skills, and then by the end of the game you've got a billion techniques, different stances, different weapons, different tools to use at your disposal, all these stealth mechanics, and it's great. The game does the stealth segments pretty good as well, we'll touch on that. The combat feels heavy first of all, and satisfying. You've got all your different moves and stuff that you can pull off, and again when it comes together it feels like some sort of orchestra performance. You will eventually every now and then get your guy that, you know, stabs you in the back and knocks you out of your combat fucking rhythm, but for the most part, everything feels good. The stealth segments, again, they're like kind of Assassin's Creed, but they feel a bit more polished. Some people I saw reviewing this game and they said that they could do without the whole running around, sneaking up and waiting for people to come to them in the long grass and then stabbing them, and I kind of get that. But at the same time, I feel like when you do stealth, you know, there's only a couple of levels where the game forces you to stealth, but when you do get the option to it, it feels like it makes things go smoother. It allows you to get through areas where there's maybe like 10 to 12 enemies that instead of like having to fight them all 1v1, you know, you've got your sword and then a shield brute comes over or a spear guy comes over, you're gonna have to chop him a couple of times. The stealth actually allows you to take out a bunch of enemies and smooth the combat, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's pretty satisfying. I should comment quickly on the duels as well, because the duels were possibly one of my favourite parts of the game. You've got these kind of 1v1s that happen where you actually have to pretty much get good or die against certain bosses. There's scripted story ones, and then there's additional like duels that you can go and find later on in the game, and I would recommend for anybody who enjoys Dark Souls Sekiro to go and kind of find these duels, because it feels kind of similar in terms of its how troublesome it can be. Again, at first it can feel really hard and tough, but then once you get the hang of it, it feels really good. So duels were pretty good. The one thing I will say, and I commented on this a little while ago when we were just finishing off the ending of the game, I do kind of wish that sometimes the duels, at least the kind of base story, maybe some of the subsequent duels that happen, the extra ones, and some of the story ones as well, sometimes to a degree, I kind of wish that they would just give you your maximum resolve when you start the duels, with the exception of the Lord Shimura fight at the end, which is obviously your uncle, and I'll explain why. So sometimes there'll be a lot of players that say, no Jack, I disagree, I want you to have no resolve going into the duels, because then it forces you to be good at the game. It forces you to just use your swordsman techniques in order to trump the enemy, which I kind of get. I think that's why in the Shimura fight at the end against your uncle, the game gives you no resolve going in, or at least that was the case with us. I'm assuming that's the same for everyone. You have to just beat him in a 1v1 situation where you have to put all your kind of, swordsmanship techniques to the test to beat him. That's fine. Against some of the other duels, though, what I found was sometimes when you go into a duel with like half your resolve and then you lose, you kind of feel like you're going in ill-prepared or under-equipped, which can be good for maybe people doing challenge runs and things. You can actually like you can have no resolve if you want going into a duel, and then actually try and beat all the duels with no resolve. That would be a cool challenge. But for like your bog standard first casual playthrough, I kind of wish that the game would just give you a resolve, because what happens is you'll end up going into a duel, and if you die a couple of times and you feel, oh man, if I had more resolve, you just feel a bit bitter about it. Or at least I feel like that was my feeling sometimes. We won some of the duels first try, which felt amazing. But sometimes, I knew a duel was coming up, and then I'd think to myself, man, now I'm going to have to go around and assassinate a bunch of guys to like build my resolve up. And I kind of wish the game was just like, either here's half your resolve points from the start, or no resolve points, or all of them. I don't like this kind of like, the fact you kind of had to go prepare for the duel, as so to speak, because preparing for the duel basically just means going around and stabbing people until you get your resolve and then coming back. But minor kind of gripe. I will say the content in the game feels pretty fresh when you're running around exploring the open world. That's why I recommend this as a game that you kind of do in your kind of relaxation time. It's not a game that you're going to find like absolute satisfaction from beating. At least in my thoughts. I'm not saying it's bad, obviously, because I really enjoyed it, but I do feel like for a lot of players, you might find that the stuff you're doing when you're not doing the main quest can get a bit repetitive and kind of like a bit kind of vanilla, it feels at times. Again, not shitting on the game because I loved it, but it does feel like some of the side content, although it's not copy-pasted side quests, there's a lot of like flavour and character to each of the things you're doing. It's mostly just the same stuff, You go to an area, Mongols attack you, you kill them, you move on. And there's not as much kind of character as like something like The Witcher 3 maybe is. I don't know if that's a fair comparison because they're two different games, but some people will know what I'm saying. So again, if you're looking to buy this game, maybe don't don't buy it when it's full price, because I don't want a lot of people to charge in and then be like, here's $50, $60, and then they're a bit bored after day one. I felt like as far as a stream game went for us, this game was really nice for being able to talk to the chat and play, and it was quite relaxing that way, and I did actually feel myself getting better, and it's nice to put on a samurai duel show for the stream. But it did feel like sometimes on stream this game was a bit of a slugfest to get through at times. Just going to like areas and doing little side quests and stuff like that, it felt a bit kind of so-so. Not bad, not completely thrilling either, we'll say. But again, minor gripes. You will find that some of the tales that you learn all your techniques from, all your legendary techniques, those are all animated beautifully in the beginning. You get a little kind of introductory cutscene, and they're all about legendary heroes and legendary samurai and warriors around Japan that are teaching you all these moves, and those were done really well. The music, the art style for all those, the music in general for the game, and the atmosphere that the game provides you with to explore as a feudal Japan setting is like bang on the head of the nail, perfect. Again, just I feel like maybe the content gets a little bit kind of dry at times, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Tsushima. That's pretty much everything. Combat was fantastic. It does get a little bit dry, but the actual RPG experience, the environment of Japan, and like the art style, the music, even the fact that they chose to make this game an 18 plus, with options to do like a lethal mode or a black and white samurai mode, is brilliant. I'm glad they didn't shy away from making this game like a more kind of family friendly game. I'm glad they went for the gory, full on samurai, 18 blood and gore angle, because I feel like it does justice to the era of the samurai, and that's kind of epic. That's what they're going for. So, yeah, Tsushima, definitely one of our good games that we enjoyed this year. That's my thoughts.